It's time. Let's get this pop in and start talking about getting into ketosis on keto carnivore and keto standard omnivore. Let's get it popping. So you guys, it's probably going to be a little glitchy. Oh, I should probably do my Wi-Fi on. Okay, so I realized I didn't have the Wi-Fi on. I was using my 4G network. So one like and one person. All right. So sorry guys, I just realized that I was not connected to the Wi-Fi, and 4G works at first and then it starts to get glitchy. So let's hope that my Wi-Fi is working all right. You guys are gonna pop into the stream. What's up? Was it Sakurano or something like that? What's up? Felicia, right? Oh, Feliciano, okay. Now, I want to talk to you guys about, I think what's happening is that people are not getting the notifications that I'm going live, which sucks. It is what it is. Let's talk, don't forget to like up the stream, but let's talk about getting into ketosis in both, because they're both ketotic, right? If you're going to do keto or if you're going to do carnivore, the point is to be ketotic. So it really is about, let's talk about the fat. Okay? What's up, everybody? So maybe I will retitle this once we're done with the stream. But I wanted to just go on really quick and talk about how to get into ketosis and basically the fat, because that's what's most important. Queen Keto, thank you. All right, let's get this popping. You have to eat high fat. I do consultations every day, and still people are under the amount of fat that they need to produce viable ketones. Now, you see a lot of people talking about that all this fat stuff doesn't matter, but they're guessing because they haven't worked with thousands of people. So they're just guessing, which is fine, you know, guessing is fine. But now stuff has data to prove that it does matter. Your protein amount does matter. Your fat amount does matter 100%. So people have this kind of idea that if you eat too much fat on either protocol, like a standard keto or keto carnivore, that if you eat too much fat, you're not going to lose weight. I mean, really? Come on. So, people still can't understand that I eat about 230 grams of fat a day, probably 240, because I can go through a Kerrygold, which is 227 grams of fat. I go through one a day. Eat it the whole day long. A day. That does not include the meat fat or any of the fat that I actually cook with. So my fats are really, really, really high, and yet I'm staying really, really, really lean for a woman, right? Sitting around 13, maybe 13.5%, which is perfect for me. You made it, yeah. Okay, so the point really is that you have to eat a lot of fat to get into a highly adapted keto state. Not just ketosis, just because you make ketones doesn't mean you use them. How do I know? Because if you actually chart people with a glucometer and just don't go by blood values, but go by their symptoms, it's very interesting to see that your blood values and your symptoms really align quite well. And that's what happens when you have thousands of people doing glucometer checks. Now, does that seem, in the beginning I had this realization, like you can't just test ketones. That's totally subjective without glucose numbers, and you have to test both. I don't even know anyone else that coaches people that consistently has everybody use a glucometer and testing both. And both are very important. Even if your blood sugar is very, very, very high, you still need to know if you're actually making ketones. Because a lot of people say, in my consultations, what's the point of even testing my ketones if my glucose is 94, for example? And I'm like, because you can still produce ketones at 94. Most people don't, but some people do. And I want to know if you are a ketone producer, because I have other people who who are testing their ketones and they're at a 0.4 instead of where you really should be, which is at a 1.8. These are ketones in millimolars or millimoles. 1.8 to a 3.0 is the range of ketones you want to be at, with the sweet spot being around a 2.0. But that must correlate with your glucose numbers. If your glucose numbers are high and your ketone numbers are decent, most likely your brain's like, okay, but there's a lot of glucose within the bloodstream. Why? Why would I use these ketones? Why would I make them a primary source of fuel? I'll make them a secondary source of fuel. And then when you're having glucose, let's say at 94 on no carbs, so where are you getting that glucose from? You're getting that glucose from gluconeogenesis, okay, which is fine. We're supposed to have gluconeogenesis because we need blood sugar, glucose for your red blood cells. But we make just enough, but we don't need to make too much, because if you have a blood sugar, you guys, of in the 90s or even in the late 80s to over 100, okay, this is not coming from stored glycogen. This is coming from the breakdown of amino acids, which are proteins all over the body, to make glucose, and then insulin's going to respond to that. So if insulin is responding to that, blood sugar rising on no carbs, like no starches, no sugars, just meat, carbohydrates, which is very low, or if you're doing keto, so you can make, there are carbs on a carnivore diet, you guys, in the meat. Very little, but there is. Standard keto is you're having cruciferous vegetables, which clearly make carbs. Okay, so for example, somebody here said that their blood sugar is 100 to 110 and ketones at a 0.5. This, oh, you're on metformin, okay. This is very, very common. So I wonder what your blood sugar would be without being on metformin. And I don't know if you're type 2 diabetic or if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which they typically tend to prescribe metformin, which makes your ketotic numbers very weird. But, you know, with the blood sugar of 94 and ketones at a 0.5, I mean, that makes sense. So in other keto realities on the internet, they'll say that you're in ketosis because you have a 0.5. Now, because you know you don't feel good with blood sugar at 95 and ketones at a 0.5. That matches pretty well. That's a common, like, blood sugar high, ketones low. Some freakazoid, oh man, that song from the 80s, I'll never forget. Some of those freakazoid people will have, like, ketones at a 2.9, but their blood sugar is in the 90s. Those people aren't using all their ketones. Most of it is going to be excreted via the urine, and it's over. A lot of people who've got gallbladder issues, your stool is floating, the ketones are in the toilet. You're not using them. So we have to be very, very careful with just blood values, because that makes it subjective. We don't know what's going on in the cell, so we have to track your symptoms along with everything. So, okay, you're type 2. So your blood sugar is normally at 130, which is type. So with metformin, you got it down to the 110s. Like, what's the point of being on metformin if you can't even get it down under 100? So you really might want to consider doing keto the right way. I have a guy on my page. He's just like, it was him and his wife. And his wife did a consultation. She's like, I really want you to do a consultation with my husband. And he was super resistant. He was like, whatever, bro. Okay, let's do this stupid thing. My wife's so into this, like, tree hugging, like, we're going to do the holistic route. Like, he had that attitude. He's like my number one fan now. Like, not fan, but like supporter. This dude is like, yo, Steph. And he's showing me updates. Like, he was clashing because he loved to play video. He's a grown-ass man in his 40s playing video games. And he was clashing with me. Now he has his video games, like, before a certain time. Because he plays video games. You're obsessed. You stay up all night long. You're not getting into deep sleep cycles. You're not making enough ketones. Your blood just... But anyway, point is, he's a type 2 diabetic. And he also was on metformin. And he was like, I really want to go off my metformin. Now, his blood sugar's in the 70s, and his ketones are right there, 2 to 3s. And I'm like, how do you feel? He's like, his name is Tank. I feel fantastic. I feel amazing. I'm like, you know, you're like non-diabetic symptoms now. He's like, of course. So he went from 400 pounds down to like muscle, like he's not totally lean yet. He's still holding a lot of visceral fat because of all that insulin. But everything else, he's leaning up and he's presenting muscle. So the point is that if you're a type 2 diabetic, you really have to do this the right way or you're really wasting your time. There is no middle. So you'll go online and people will say to refeed back on carbs on the weekends because you can't do keto for, you know, the long term, which is absolute nonsense. And the reason why it's nonsense is because people don't work with people over the years. So it's all anecdotal. Like what happens when you do keto for years, everybody's guessing. But I've done it straight. I haven't had any refeeds, no sugars, no carbs, no sweet fruits in over, it's almost 12 now, 11 years. So we're over 10, 11, almost 12. Nothing. Because I literally want to see what happens to my body. That everybody says that women can't do this for years and years and years. And what? And you guys know I say this all the time. This is me in my 50s. Now, if I were 20 or 30 something years old, you'd be like, but she's in her 30s. That's why she's so fit. No. And this is not genetics. This is me painstaking blood, sweat, and tears to keep this tight and right. Because when you get into your 40s, especially as a woman, stuff don't want to be tight no more. Stuff don't want to be right. Okay? You know, these people are like, I barely work out. I'm just so lean. So fabulous. No. Okay? The biatch works out. Like, nobody knows. So, when it comes to the two different dietary measures, and I really want to, I know you guys are probably asking questions I'm missing. Smash the like button! Who said that? Keisha, hi Keisha. So Keisha was on my course page. You guys, I have a keto course page. I also do low carb, high fat, standard keto, and keto carnivore. Carnivore diet is just a miracle for a lot of people. I cannot speak more highly of it. And yeah, people are like, are you carnivore now? And I'm like, I don't really like the titles, but I understand what the anti-nutrients in plants, how they totally wreck your body. But if you're going to do this dietary measure and just eat animal source foods besides the salt, you must. And people are like, oh, can I have like Italian herbs and call it carnivore? And I'm like, nah, Brad. No. Strictly friggin' animal sources and parts and bits. Because I don't like to say products because animals aren't products. So, to be ketotic on a carnivore diet, you have to keep your fats high, the same as keto. There's no difference. Fats high on keto, standard keto, fats high, I call it keto carnivore because I'm the one who's like saying you have to keep your fats over 200 grams. It is, I don't know what the big deal is. If you take, let's say, pork or like, let's say, pork belly, so there was a lot of fat. So some of it I decided to just render down and it doesn't really have a taste. So you could add like salt to it if you're doing carnivore, and it's actually quite nice. And use that lard to get enough of that 200 grams of fat in, or you can render tallow, or you can buy it already rendered. Okay, Steph, I almost ate half a jar of coconut oil. Ew. Child, coconut oil is not ketotic. It has nothing to do with the ketogenic diet. People assumed that it was great for the MCT effect, that MCTs would create ketones and then the ketones go away. So people aren't actually adapting. Now, coconut oil is amazing for the lauric acid benefit. It's antimicrobial and viral, meaning you have colds and flus. It's great to oil pull with. It's great for people who've got gut issues, and the medium chain triglyceride can pass through the blood-brain barrier, so it does help people with brain injuries and with Alzheimer's, but to become ketotic, nah. Why would you eat a half a jar of coconut oil? That is so nasty. I feel sorry for you. Who told you to do that? When you could just have butter. All right, let's keep this rocking. Feliciano, you might need to introduce a carb for your transversal, what? Polished white rice. Recommends by Steph a month, so complex carbs, toxins. Okay. Polished off good stepping stone. Okay. So I'll explain how a person who's never really been ketotic, because I can't see all the comments. If you want to sit at low carb, high fat, then you have to have gasoline in the tank. You got to fill up the glycogen just like a carb person, but you're going to do low carb, right? So you want to be under 100 carbs. So you really want to sit between 80, more like 80 and 90 grams of carbs per day. The reason why I don't like white rice, because it's a grain, but it's been bleached out. All the nutrients have been, not all, most of them have been bleached out. The arsenic has been bleached out. So people can just use it as simply gasoline. Not a big, huge nutrient value to it. So yes, you would start off with like 1/4 cup of rice per main meal. Now, I'm changing my meal plans on my website to include this new information. So before I was still including carrots, which is still on the verge. You could do cooked carrots. Just make sure that you don't have any sensitivities to cooked carrots. This is another way to keep your carbohydrates around 80 to 90 grams of carbs per day. Cruciferous vegetables aren't going to take you there. Of course, you can do cruciferous vegetables, but it's still going to keep your grams of carbohydrates pretty low unless you eat a whole bowl of it, which I don't suggest anymore because of the anti-nutrients and the bloat effect that people get off of cruciferous vegetables and the oxalates. What did you say? Yeah, don't eat coconut oil. It's not even ketotic, people. It's not. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's great for Alzheimer's, dementia, people who've got brain injuries. It really helps my mom because my mom has a traumatic brain injury. So when my mom eats coconut oil, she goes from stuttering to not stuttering. So it's a black and white, I see the difference. But to be in ketosis, no. MCT oil is even more useless. Waste of money. Too expensive. I used to promote it. People are like, oh my God, you used to say this. And I said, yeah, I used to look at the whole timestamp in these videos. Years ago, with anything to do with dietary measures and lifestyle, we are all going to evolve. And 20 years from now, we won't even talk about this stuff. We'll be talking about other stuff. Like AI and robots and all this horrible stuff coming. What defines a food as ketonic? Ketotic. Food doesn't, oh, you mean what fats? Okay. Let me rephrase that question. What foods put you into ketosis, right? So that's more simple. You try to make it sound too smart. What defines it as ketotic? The foods the fats, especially that put you into ketosis, are animal fats. And it makes sense because we are made out of animal fat. We are animals and we eat animal fat. Animal fat has a lot of stuff in it that plant fats don't have enough of what our bodies are comprised of. With the cholesterol, with the fat soluble vitamins, with the mono, saturated, and polyunsaturated ratios are closest to us, like in other animals. And so people do so well. If they have crappy ketones, like this person who had 0.5, they'll notice their ketones bump up to 2s on animal fat when they take out like the olive oil and the avocado oil and the coconut oil and start relying on animal fats. All of a sudden their ketones pop up and I'm like, well, how do you feel as well? And they're like, I feel so much better. This happens so many times when people switch to animal fat, how they feel so much better. Black and white. So it's very, very important, you guys, on both protocols, all three, actually. If you're eating low carb, high fat, it doesn't matter that you still have your fat around 80, 90 grams of fat a day. If you have a starch, we would put it in between. We wouldn't do heavy fat. So I'd have you do like a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 fat with your rice. But to get yourself up to 200, it would be like in broths and in teas or straight in the mouth when you're not eating a starch, when your glucose and your insulin is more low. Then you get in the fat to be on that line of being ketotic and feeling like you're not starving to death eating just 80 grams of carbs a day. That's not enough. It can fill up the glycogen a little bit, but it's not going to give you a lot of energy unless you get some fat soluble vitamins in there from fat. So if you're doing a carnivore diet, you have to eat a ton of fat, same as keto, or you're going to have the same problems. Thyroid insufficiency, your T3 drops, your TSH rises, If you're not eating enough fat on carnivore and just relying on the fat, the marbled fat on a ribeye, that's not going to be enough. That's why people stuff themselves with protein, and then people have got issues with their kidneys, and then they're starting having pain in their kidneys. And if you're young, you may not notice it, but I'm in my 50s, and so if I start pounding a bunch of meat down, that's going to make my glucose spike. If you don't believe me, go get a glucometer. You'll never be able to argue with me ever, okay? So people don't argue me this fact because you have to have a glucometer, stuff a bunch of protein down, watch your blood sugar rise, and watch the ketones go like this. So when people say like, oh, it doesn't matter, none of these people use glucometers. You have to use a glucometer and track how you feel. And if you don't track how you feel, go do a workout with me. And if you can't keep up with me, something's wrong. Okay? Because I'm in my 50s with a ton of injuries. You guys know I've had 10 surgeries on my left knee from being a pro skateboarder on vert ramps with Tony Hawk back in the day. And so for me to keep my energy and stamina up, you must protect your systems, your endocrine system. And stuffing it down a bunch of protein without any purpose makes no sense, right? You still want to drive ketosis when you're doing carnivore. The only people that should do carnivore really are people who've got histamine intolerance, they have autoimmunity, that means cancer, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, lupus, Lyme's, people with rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, people got fibromyalgia, people who've got a leaky gut, really bad food sensitivities, allergies, I mean, so many itises, Crohn's, IBS, diverticulitis, gastritis, carnivore diet, no brainer, no brainer. But for you to do this dietary measure of just eating animal sourced things except for the salt, then you have to make sure that your macros are on point, fleek, correct. Because if they're not, you'll create second and third issues, health issues. So yeah, you may not have the bloat, you may not have the allergy symptoms, but now your hair starts falling out, right? Now your testosterone drops, you get flat, and your legs start getting skinny, and then you've got dark circles under your eyes. So when I look at all these guys on the internet who talk about carnivore, except for Sean Baker, all of them are really, really young. Yo, when I was in my 20s, I was eating freaking garbage. I was eating cereal, I was eating bread, I was eating cookies from time to time. Now, I was never a really big sweet person. I still had it. Had potato chips, but not all the time, but still had it. Had soda, not all the time, still had it. Like, there wasn't any, like, oh, I shouldn't be eating none of this food. So when I'm in my 20s as a pro skater, I didn't feel bad. Not that I noticed. So, but when you get into your 50s and you stuffing down a bunch of protein and you get pain in the back, yo, like your cells only last so long, and then they're like, will you stop? Stop. Yeah, give me a break. If you don't sleep well, as you get, so all these people, all of them, all the guys that talk about carnivore who are young, yo, older people, and I'm telling you guys, when you get older, your organs need to be, everything must be done perfectly or else you don't feel well, especially the women. How many carnivore women out there? It's all the guys, right? The guys who've got like the clickbaity channels and they talk about vegans. It's all guys. So you guys, we have to sit there and try to drive ketosis. They don't do that except for one of them who was keto before. And now I think he switched to carnivore. I'm not really sure. But he might know a little bit more. But the rest of them who are like full carnivore, I think Gotes, who I actually like, even though he's odd, he drinks orange juice because he wants to have more strength at the gym. So then it's like, I want to like sometimes reach out to these people and like, nope, not my lane, stay away, stay in your own lane, Steph, stay in your own lane. But you can't do orange juice because you don't have enough strength at the gym. It means you're not using enough ketones, your fat's not high enough. You're pounding like, 2 pounds of meat. And you can have it once a day. You're not hungry because you've got fat on the meat. You feel satiated, but your glycogen's low and you don't have enough ketones. So you want to drive ketosis so when you work out, you don't have to pound the orange juice. And that would freak my body out if I did that. I really wouldn't focus on any like food porn, like coconut cream and all that. It is possible that you consume it, but you have to really strain out the water and really just focus on the cream. And I don't mean that coconut milk from a carton. That stuff's just nonsense. So see, slow intensity cardio after weight training, good thing, bad thing, Clark. So I tried to explain this to my client today, who's a runner, who's got a ton of health issues. In my consultation this morning, I was like, bro, you're gonna have to stop running. He was like running at 8 o'clock at night. He's like, but I love it. I'm like, but you got health issues, bad ones. He's had to go to the hospital like 6 times. He's like, I don't know. First I thought it was my gallbladder. And so, but these doctors are so dumb, you guys. He had pain on his left side. Your gallbladder is on your right side. They took out his gallbladder because he kept having these attacks, right? I was like, did you ever think that you were having a reaction to the anti-nutrients in plants? I was like, do you eat salads? He's like, yeah, I've been kind of vegetarian forever and I eat a ton of salads. I was like, did you ever think that might be the oxalate buildup? He's like, no. So now he doesn't have a gallbladder. That one was a crazy story. Like, they took his gallbladder out when he had pain on the left side and there's no gallbladder on the left side. Talk about dumb doctors. I can't with this stuff. Don't forget to like this stream. Exactly, Keto Muscle. Thank you. If someone like you keto for a long time, this must be a good question. Cut fat for what? Cut fat for protein? Would you lose body fat? Greg, that's a strange question. I don't understand. Cut fat for protein? Can you guys some of y'all make better questions? Kind of bizarre. Weight loss comes from your hormones, okay? That's it. So if your insulin is skyrocketing, if you eat a lot of protein, your blood sugar spikes, which all you have to do is test your blood sugar, you'll see it spiking. And then your insulin's high. Not only are your ketones not going to be not very viable, or ketones low, but your blood sugar is going to spike. And if your blood sugar is high, you're not going to lose weight, period. Blood sugar high, insulin high, don't lose weight. It's just the way it is. It's your hormones, people, and your estrogen. Estrogen and lazy fat cells and insulin, people. So stop thinking that, oh, it's calories in, calories out. Because if you have a thyroid problem, which is hormonal, if your thyroid is jacked and your metabolism is like, what's up, Deborah? Mod's in the house. If your metabolism is super slow because you have inefficient fat cells, how are you going to lose weight? I got people starving themselves on 500 calories a day. I had a woman 2 days ago, bless her little heart, okay? She's amazing, so positive, 5'8". I think she's 157 pounds, which is about normal for somebody who's 5'8", tall woman, around that. Body fat, 36.4. 36, brat. She was totally in her weight range, largely made out of fat. I was like, girlfriend, we had to start talking about her menstrual cycle. Like, let's go to the hormones. Let's talk about your thyroid. Because why? She barely ate anything, you guys. Ate once or twice a day, sitting at 36%. Yo, I'm sitting around 13%. This woman's sitting at 36. Are you kidding me? That's not safe for your organs. Let's see. Will this ever stop talking about keto? Will this one ever stop talking about keto? I don't know, Deborah. If that's a troll, Albert, you might have to go. No, that's what I do, fool. Okay, oops, that slipped out of my mouth. Okay, don't react, Stephanie. I hope I missed something. But this one, if you're talking about me, no. Come on now. That's why people come here, bruh. Okay, let me see. Does duck fat, wait. Comments are coming in too fast. Does duck fat contain omega-6? Yes, unfortunately. The percentages of omega-6, I don't know exactly what they are, but they're really, really high. So you can't just rely on duck fat. Could you please answer Tammy's question of this? I didn't even see it. You guys got to realize, questions go like this, and I can't see them. So you have to write them in caps, and you have to recycle the questions if I don't see it. Because if I don't see it, I don't see it. Shoot. Dr. Darren Schmidt says protein doesn't kick you out of... He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Based on what? It's his opinion. Complete. Does he say where he got his information from? Because I can tell you where I got mine. From 3,000 people. So you're not, first of all, most of you aren't even in ketosis. So you ain't getting kicked out of nothing. Okay? you ain't in the club. You haven't crossed the bridge to ketosis land. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. Based on what? Is he work with clients? No. Clients with, but clients with glucometers and thousands of them? No. No. Kill me. No. And you have to track people's symptoms. And you have to understand if they've got a thyroid condition or adrenal insufficiencies or hormonal issues or insulin issues. Because if you don't address the issues, you ain't gonna adapt. So who cares what he says? Sorry, I don't know who he is, but whatever. And you're just kind of like, you're parroting something you heard that he said. So I don't even know if you understood him correctly. Okay, do you recommend OMAD 1 meal a day? No. Why would you do that? You guys, you can't lose weight if your hormones are jacked. So here we go. Your body's a car, right? Do you go and try to drive your car when the tank's on empty? No. Why would you not go and drive a high-performance car, your Bugatti, on an empty tank? Because you'll ruin the engine, right? Or it'll just conk out. So your body works like a car. If you don't put gasoline in it, it will search for ways to... Your body does not care that you want to look aesthetic. The body only cares about surviving, or the primal brain. That's it. I want to survive. So when you don't eat, if you just eat one meal, where is the energy coming from? You think you're burning fat? That's a joke. I just said, there's a woman with 36% body fat eating 1 or twice a day. Why is her body fat so high when she's barely eating? She's eating like 1,000 calories a day. Why is she not losing weight? Because her endocrine system is broken. Hormones. You guys, if we could just do like, take the water, add some powder and stir and mix, and voila, I can lose weight, then somebody tell me how you do that. Because nobody just loses weight. It doesn't work that way, which is barely ever the reason why I talk about weight loss, because you guys are broken. And if you're broken, you have to address the brokenness and not just these recipes of weight loss, which are just completely lies and ridiculousness. Deborah's like up the stream. To like up the stream, collapse the chat window and hit the thumbs up and then reopen the chat, which is a chat box to like up the stream, guys. Could you recommend... Okay, I already saw that. So I don't mean, I'm like, Stephanie's in that feisty mood today. No, I think the other 2 times I've been like so zen, and today I'm not. Okay, let's see. What's your opinion on what? Allowed... What are onions? No. Yes. Okay, spring onions, the green part, not the bulb, but the green part. Yes. Can keto help? Hold on. Can keto help me with fertility? Yes. Trying to conceive. I was kind of shocked to find out that I wasn't this month. What, ovulating or what? Oh, wasn't pregnant. But then I think I was having issues with my hormones. Exactly. You should do a consultation. Oh, you have my name, Steph. Stephanie, you should do a consultation, because I work with so many women with fertility issues because their hormones are jacked, right? They don't eat enough fat, so they don't get the precursor cholesterol for their sex hormones. They don't sleep right. They don't breathe right. They have cortisol issues, inverted cortisol issues. They've got inflammatory, they've got gut issues. If you have a gut issue and you keep eating food that your body is sensitive to, you probably will be infertile. Kanika, how do you say your name? Kanika. Harper's like, preach, girl. Okay, how do you keep from having too much protein if you eat a lot of fat? You will not. Just eat over 200 fat. People gobble down all that protein because they're freaking starving. When you eat fat, you're like, dude, I ain't hungry. It's easy to eat 1 meal a day when you've eaten over 200 grams of fat. It's like easy. Let's see how. You're welcome, Reza. Why do I bloat on butter? Because you're allergic to it. It's the whey and casein left in the butter. So basically, butter is the fat skimmed off the milk, but some of it still is there, and it's not the fat that's irritating you with all these lovely nutrients in it. It's the protein left in it. So you could try ghee. Which you said, I think you said ghee. So you're going to have to cut it out and use lard or tallow. That's what's up. Yeah, you need to cut out. If you're bloating, you're having a reaction to it. Straight up. No joke. Total reaction to that. Let me see. Smea? How do you say your name? Thank you, by the way. Okay, what has your experience been with cannabis and ketosis overall health? Um, Nothing much. Um, if you don't do your macros and your lifestyle the right way and you get the munchies, people tend to drop off the keto wagon when they're smoking. You know what I'm saying? But if you have your everything else under control, it's fine. Do your thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, you guys, I'm sitting at like 30 something minutes. Do you guys have a couple more questions before I go? Because I just want to do a quick stream. Why would you say that? I didn't say that. I never said that cannabis is bad for your hormones. I said if you eat wrong and your macros are wrong and your sleep is crap and so you're mineral deficient and you're craving carbs, smoking, then that's bad. Y'all trip me out. Not most of you get me. Some people will be like, "Why did you say this?" I'm like, "I never said that. Where'd you get that from?" I'd like to know where you got that from. Like up the stream, Albert says. Like up the stream, guys. Chris got some energy. Don't forget, you guys, I have a keto course. I also do low carb, high fat, we're still carb dependent, and keto, carnivore, because the other carnivore people don't do it the way I do, which is the best way to preserve your thyroid and your adrenals and your reproductive hormones. And I also do consultations. So just go to stephanieperson.com for that. And Deborah is showing you in caps how to book a consultation. And you guys can also go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic, where I teach people. Today I talked about electrolytes on my stories. I do new stories about the body every day. And I was just explaining that a lot of you guys think that you're tired because of blood sugar, but sometimes you're tired because you are electrolyte deficient. Your potassium and your sodium is off. You're taking too much sodium, not enough potassium, feel tired. You don't drink enough water, feel tired. Magnesium, don't have enough magnesium, feel tired. So that's what I spoke about on my Instagram at Stephanie Ketogenic. No, I don't supplement iodine because I don't have an iodine deficiency. So there you go. If you guys have any deficiencies of your B complex, of your minerals, you might want to look into more organ meats, because that's my thing right now. And you cannot do carnivore without organ meats. So I just did like a short little video. I will probably upload that tomorrow about the differences between keto and carnivore, keto carnivore and keto omnivore. Okay, Steph, I usually eat a lot of egg yolks throughout the day. Why? Separate times. You know, child, rotate your meat. Y'all don't just eat the same thing all the time. You know what I mean? Just make sure that don't get in a habit of like, I could eat the same thing every day. That's great. But that's not good if you're trying to heal the gut. Does liver supply iodine? Which organs raise iodine? What iodine levels? Thanks for sharing. I just looked this up the other day and now I can't remember. But I do believe, I don't know, I'll have to go and look it up. I'm not going to say, I know there are certain meats that have more iodine. I think liver does, but I don't think it has a lot. But I will go and double check and I'll do a video about it. And I'll be like, these are the meats highest in iodine. I'm deficient in keto love. You're so funny. Keisha used to be on the page, so he's probably, but I'm here. We still got my Instagram. We still got YouTube. I hope you're still doing keto, Keisha. Can keto heal fascial muscle imbalance? Okay, so Cindy, the fascial muscle imbalance is coming from a multitude of things, so I wouldn't say that keto is going to heal it. No, there's a lot of outside varying factors that you have to fix with your body, right? With inflammation, with getting your diet as far as the nutrient density of your diet, with the organ meats, right? And not focusing on a lot of plants that mess with your gut wall. So there's a lot of, and how you sleep. And I think sleep is going to be a big, huge thing with your muscle fascia. Muscle fascial imbalance. But I kind of don't know. You mean like, do you mean tight fascia bands? I'm not actually sure about the question, to be honest. Okay, do most people with Lyme's disease, autoimmune conditions, avoid butter in your experience? No. Everybody's different. Some people who've got histamine intolerance cannot do butter, and some people have histamine intolerance can pound it down. So everyone's different. Everybody's gut freak out is at different levels in a different context. Gut biome, the bacteria is different. The issues with imbalance of bacteria is different, and how your body responds. Or if you guys are diamine oxidase, DAO deficient, if you don't have the enzyme to break down histamine, then it's a buildup, and then those people tend to not be able to take casein or whey. It just depends. So you're gonna have to do a lot of experimentation to see how you react. Does raw versus pasteurized butter make a difference? Huge difference. For histamine people, that's a good question. Raw versus pasteurized. I don't know. But I think it would make a difference, definitely. But to be honest, if you have histamine intolerance towards the proteins and they are the same amount in pasteurized or raw, then I don't think it's going to make a difference for that type of reaction to the protein. Okay, one side of face is slanted. Oh, interesting. You know what? I would need to talk to you more, because that's a whole that you talk about face. I'm thinking about muscle fascia. You're talking about muscle fascia here. So yeah, it's a condition I'm not very aware of, but I definitely know that I could help. You probably should consider keto carnivore, big time. Let's see. In my type 2 diabetic, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and just sleeping earlier helped me bring my blood sugar exactly from, that's a really good point, 9 point, ooh, that's high. A 9.0 to 5.0 millimolar, so thanks Steph for that. So that's amazing that you got that's, whoo, 9 point in the freaking milli, that's to get down to the fives. That's life-saving right there. So I'm so happy for you to just go to bed earlier, because you guys are your hormones on a freaking timer. There's nothing you can do about it. They want to do things according to the sun rising and the sun setting. When the sun goes down, y'all go down. If you do not go down, your whole hormonal system goes, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to start creating chaos within your body. Then I'm not going to sleep well, and then I'm not going to repair. And that was going on in her case because she wasn't repairing. And now her blood sugar went from deadly high down to I'm not going to die from a disease, a heart attack. Let's see, I'm eating beef liver. Yes, already, love. Yes. You know, when I first did my keto journey, I always talked about getting people off of coffee, cheese, and nuts. We have evolved, right? Because now y'all are starting to realize that those foods are absolute poison. Now I don't have to sit there and battle idiots all day long, like, why can't I have my cheese? And why can't I have my nuts? And some of you guys are starting to understand the coffee issue. Now I can finally talk about the dangers of plants, especially out of season. I think last live stream I was talking about the oxalate buildup, that people, if they eat spinach, for example, well, in the wintertime, it's not going to grow. So you would dump the oxalates, right? Buildup of oxalate shards and glass and spikes depositing everywhere. And then you would release the oxalates. But we are getting our plants all the time imported from other countries, from South America. And it doesn't matter if it's nothing's growing or if it's cold, we can still get those fruits. Well, we're not fruits on keto. You can still get those foods with anti-nutrients wrecking your body. You can't pee them out. They're just constantly fracking you up. That's on cod liver oil. I'm on the fence. You know, I'm on the fence. I just think whatever you do with cod liver oil, make sure it's the highest of quality, because you know there's all those arguments against fish oil that, but by the time you stick that capsule in your mouth, it's already oxidized and it's not of high quality. But I don't know, and a lot of us don't know. And I think a lot of those experts out there need to admit when stuff they don't know, say, I don't know. But protein and fat, honey child knows that, because I work with so many people. Unequivocally, there's no doubt in my mind that too much protein spikes blood sugar, for example. See, how do you mimic the morning hunt working on the morning? Should the first, well, I believe our hunter-gatherers did not hunt first thing in the morning. I think they did it mid-morning, I think, depending on where they were. But okay, let me see. The point is not that. Working out in the morning should be the first thing, meal of the day, before, after morning workout, trying to switch. Okay, so this, don't do one meal a day. For the workouts, if you have a job, for example, you got to be at work at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So some people will wake up at like 4:45 or 5 o'clock or 5:30 and get a workout in before. Is that the best time to work out? No. Best time to work out is mid-morning when cortisol is already spiked and peaked. But if you only have early morning or after work, early morning is 10,000 times better, always going to be better than afternoon, late afternoon to evening. So what you would do is you would break the fast with very little food, fatty protein and some fat, like a yolk, for example. That's the amount, and that's a soft fatty protein that's easy to digest with like a tablespoon or two of fat in a tea, and that's it. So nothing that's gonna like wreck your digestive tract because your body's like, I'm trying to digest, and now you're trying to exercise, and I don't know what to do because you put so little in. But then you break the fast, you tell the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, yo, adrenals, you're not starving. Don't over crank out too much adrenaline and cortisol. We don't need to raise my blood sugar because I'm not starving. I'm putting some food in. So when it comes, then you would come home and eat your full breakfast. If you guys aren't used to eating breakfast, have a small amount. No, you can't do it pre-workout. You have to have just so little that you break the fast, but not too much where you overwhelm the digestive tract. And then just come home and eat your breakfast. That's how you do it. Okay, you guys always ask questions. I'm about to go. Why? Let me see. Oh my God! Sometimes raw beef liver tastes really good, and I eat it with butter. Depends on how I fresh it. Yeah, I mean we're not having fresh slaughtered meat, so that's a tough one. That's really sucky. But you just got to find the freshest and the grass-fed that you can. You just got to go on the hunt for it. And with that said, it is time for me to go. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining this quick little stream. I am getting bigger, better, stronger, faster, and I finally found somebody to film me. It's been a while. It's been years. I can't find somebody to film me on my schedule. I finally did, and that can also edit. So you're going to see, finally, some great freaking quality videos. And then my live streams are going to switch from my phone to a laptop where I can pull up articles, pictures, not vegan videos, because I won't do that. We got other people analyzing vegans, and I'm so happy that they do. No, I'm not going to lie. They kind of mean, but like, anyway. But still kind of needed at this juncture in some kind of weird way. But I will be just analyzing the foods, showing you how much fat, what your proteins should look like, and I can pull it up on my laptop and put it on the screen and have me be in a small corner instead of using this Johnny Carson 1978 background. Okay? I missed your question, Terry. You have to put in caps. You guys, if you really want me to answer a question, put it in caps because I can't see it. If I look away for 2 seconds, your comment's gone and I never saw it. Let me see. Hey, Terry, I have a similar issue. I didn't see it. Let me find Terry's comment. Can you recycle that comment, Terry? We missed you on the course page, Terry. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, so Terry, you can film me? Cindy, you live in LA? Let's see. 1 egg yolk in the morning upon waking up. Hold on. One egg yolk. One egg yolk in the morning upon waking up. Then first breakfast 3 hours later. Let's do 1 yolk and 2 tablespoons of butter. That should get you through your workout and to your breakfast. Yes. Let me see here. What should blood glucose be after eating? You measure 2 hours, and if you're trying to be ketotic, you want to be between 69 and around 82 max blood sugar, but you have to have the ketones. It's not just the blood sugar. If your blood sugar is in the 80s or in the 70s and your ketones are in the toilet, you're hypoglycemic, and it's not ketotic. It's not. See, 9 Mars 3 writes, hey, hi, Steph. The bacteria in my mouth has changed on carnivore. I now have to clean tartar buildup daily on the bottom for middle teeth and light white coating tongue. What the F? I don't know what foods that you're eating, so that matters. It's not just, okay, remember, it's not the carnivore diet. It's food you're eating on the carnivore diet. So I don't know what you're eating. And you might have to do some experimentation and do some mono meats and see what's creating the buildup of tartar. So I don't have that problem at all. Actually, it's carbs that do my teeth in, like straight up. Have you tried raw carnivore diet stuff? I've tried raw many times. So, but I've done raw with vegetables. Now I'm doing, I'm out of the phase because I'm doing a lot of experimentation. Now I'm not doing raw, a little bit liver, but I'm not really doing as much raw as I used to on a carnivore diet. I'm doing cooked for now. So we'll see. And then I'll flip it over and I'll do raw, fully raw. Let's see. Keto carnivore. Richard. What's up, Richard? Let's see. So Richard was the person I was talking about, lauricidin. Lauricidin is, people use it for candida, and it works really, really well, and parasites. Terry, okay. Oh, is that the question I missed, Terry? Oh, okay. You're supposed to write it in caps. I was waiting for the caps to come. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. Terry, you left the page. It's only $15 a month. What? You left the page, so I can't monitor you, Terry. It'd be really, really interesting to be able to weekly, consistently monitor what's going on with your carnivore journey, but you left, so I don't know. Let's see here. Just copied and pasted it. Okay, gotcha. All right, guys, time for me to go. I've got some energy. I do. I'm trying to not do crazy long streams anymore. But I want to remind you guys, I'm in my 50s. I'm almost 52. I've been on keto for almost 12 years. I cannot speak more highly of it. You have to do it the right way or it'll kick your ass. And we don't want it to do that. You want to have the benefits of being ketotic. If you want to learn how to lose weight, you must learn how to sleep better. If you want to learn how to lose weight, you better learn how to eat slowly. If you want to learn how to lose weight, you better address that thyroid and that adrenal thing and get off the caffeine if you want to drop body fat and keep the muscle. The next apartment's over there. Sorry, guys. I'm silly. I thought it was going to be more cranky today. I was expecting feisty Stephanie, but she came out for 2 seconds and left. All right, guys. Now I gotta go. Somebody's like, that's Tasha K. And I'm like, yeah, it just sticks in my head. Stupid stuff. It's like a song, like a bad song that you listen to on the radio and you keep singing that song. Like, no, stop doing that. I'm doing that with that expression. Now I gotta go. Don't forget to like up the stream, you guys. We have 44 people in the house. And why are we not getting up to 50 likes? Because the likes help bring people to my page. And I've got to contact YouTube and be like, yo, I have almost 100,000 subscribers. People are not getting their notifications. And I don't know why. So try to keep liking up the stream because apparently that helps with the algorithm. We're at 47 on my phone. My phone's more accurate. We got 48. Can we get 2 more? Can we get 2 more likes in the house to hit 50? Let's raise the roof, you guys. Because I'm trying to spit out real information. I am not reading off of a script. I am not telling you what you always want to hear. Like, yes, you can adapt in 12 days and just start getting shredded. No. Oh, we got 54. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So guys, again, want to sign up for a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com. I'm still working on my keto book, and it changes and evolves. I want to get more experience with keto carnivore and stick that in my book as well. And that is the reason why you guys don't hear the end dates yet. I've gone through a huge learning surge in the last year. Stuff like oxalates. Somebody's like, what's oxalates? So oxalates are the plants don't mess with me in nature. It's the poison. And they're like shards of glass, Freddy Krueger spikes, right? And needles, and they deposit all over your body and mess you up. And people are eating raw green smoothies and salads, and it's destroying their health. People are starting to develop kidney stones, kidney pain, kidney disease, other liver issues, stones in their gallbladder. Women are like, oh, I've got a UTI, but they don't have a UTI. They've got like oxalates in they're in their kidney and in their the tube that connects I don't forget what it's called, the tube that connects the bladder to the kidneys, and people are developing a lot of oxalate buildup in those areas and feeling like the rheumatoid arthritis and the all these itises, and we don't stop eating the oxalate high rich foods because we never actually go through a winter famine. We're just getting stuff imported from other countries, and so we just keep dousing ourselves with lectins and phytates and oxalates. And that's why so much disease is popping up. Thank you, Mark Weiss. Mark is always donating. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my darling. Thank you so much. Much love to always support this stream with your hard-earned money. I appreciate that. So I think that's it with the questions. We got the like ratio over the people in the stream, which is what I wanted. And it's time to go and enjoy my evening, which will involve going on the course page, which I haven't done yet. So I'll be over there, Deborah and Richard. Oh, yes. So we have open posting on Fridays. So the Keto Course Facebook group, people are like, does it have to be Facebook? I'm like, yeah. I'm going to switch it to another platform so it doesn't have to be Facebook in the future. Yeah, but the point is that they've got a lot of tools. It's easier to run a page. Plus, I do live mini consultations there on Sundays for my client group of people, but it runs like a course. Each day is a designated day that we do something or discuss something, and then come Friday we can start doing open topics, and then I go there and people have specific questions, and I'll go there and I'll answer it, and I can also keep up with my big huge couple hundred group of people and do a lot of experimentation, so then when I come to YouTube you guys can see what I learned, like people feeling sick on carnivore without enough fat, or people having oxalate buildup on keto carnivore, or feeling sick, or like this guy today was doing keto but ate a lot of vegetables and was having friggin' pain in his left side. They had to go to the hospital many times. The doctor's like, oh, nothing's wrong with you, because they don't understand the poison in plants. Okay, and he was eating a lot of salads. Now I gotta go, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah, for coming in, and also Richard. They are both my mods on the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Richard's like, come on now, just join the group. So Richard's also on the group and or in the group. And Richard, I spoke about you before, about all that weight that you lost. Richard, can you type yourself your blood sugar numbers from being a type 2 diabetic? What happened, especially when you went keto carnivore? Can you type that? I'm going to wait. You guys can ask questions if you want in between Richard writing that, because I can say it because Richard wasn't in the chat before, but there's nothing like somebody else saying it themselves. Deborah's like, yes, to subscribe to Stephanie's Facebook Keto Course group, go to stephanieperson.com. So Richard went, oh my God, Richard went from a 10.5 to a 4.8, and the other person was at a 9 point something. So Richard has gone from a, this is your A1C. So this is Richard's A1C. So Richard went from a 10.5 to a 4.8, and that's like a miracle. You guys don't understand. People who are not diabetics don't understand those numbers. They don't understand that what Richard did to his body, sorry, I'm burping because I drank water too fast, is like a miracle. Okay, for those who don't understand the numbers of blood sugar and diabetes, and he was doing keto for a while after having a consultation with me, and I was like, dude, try to go carnivore. Now he pops right in. He's like killing it. So proud of Richard. I'm so proud of him. So proud. Let's see. Some parts of the beef liver are chewy though. Should I swallow it or spit it out? It's up to you. I don't care if you spit it out, cut it out, eat it, as long as I got you eating liver. Yes, that's so good. Right, Deborah? That's so great for Richard to make that huge jump. So proud of him. What's your current eating schedule, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.? Huh? I get up and I eat around 5:30 to 6:20-ish. Right away, I get up, break the fast. I don't mess. But I'm lucky. I can create my workout schedule so I'm fully fasted by the time I go to the gym. And then as a so when I go to the, not fully fasted, but almost fully fasted. So pre-workout for me when I go to the gym is either I'll do 1 or 2 tablespoons of butter. And then I go to the gym and I come home and I eat again. And that, y'all, is my feeding schedule. But I don't want you guys to copy what I'm doing because I've been doing this for so many years. I'm like straight up adapted, like I'm rock star at this. And you guys can't just go and do a couple slabs of butter. You have to eat a lunch. You have to. I don't have to. You have to because you're not adapted yet. And it's a process. The whole first year I ever did keto, I wasn't ever really adapted. I was still crashing in the afternoon all the time. Couldn't focus. I was personal training people and I was like, I can't focus. They're talking and I'm not listening. It's like everything that they were saying was annoying me because I was so kind of sleepy. And like when you train people, you got to like coach them and push them and stay focused and listen to all those stories like a therapist. And I would just, honey. So now I gotta go because I was only supposed to do 34 minutes. Now I'm over an hour. So thanks, guys. Thank you for joining this chat. I hope it helps. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel. And obviously, I'm going to say this over and over again. If you want to join my keto course, go to stephanieperson.com. If you want a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com. If you want free content, go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. If you want, stay here, right here on YouTube, which there's a lot. If you just watch the videos, it'll take you there. Or you can go to my Facebook, which is my fan page at Stephanie the Business. That's what's up. Person. Yay! All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys. And I'm out. Got some energy. Time to go because it's so beautiful outside. Thank you again, Deborah. And thank you, Richard. Thank you. Richard's like, join the page. All right? Join the page. And Richard was a skeptic when he first talked to me. He's like, okay, my wife wants me to talk to this crazy chick, whatever. And now both of them are just, love both of them. And Deborah too. Toby and Richard, love. Love. Love so much. Bye. I gotta go. Live my life. Out of keto sometimes. I mean the keto world. Richard's all in. Okay.